Yeah, so you're gonna say 7 increased by means plus, and then W. So it's just gonna be 7 plus W.
What if it's a decrease, then wouldn't that be negative?
It would be a minus, yeah. Write each as a verbal expression, okay? So remember, be taking good notes. So verbal expression means how you would say it. Okay, so how would you say it? So how do we say that? N plus 10 equals 42. What's another word for equals? Because you guys are probably going to see it. What's another word for equals? Is. Okay, sum. So is probably the most common one. So if it says, you could say n plus 10 is 42. Okay? So this is how you would say it. Okay, it means to write it out in words. Okay, evaluate each expression. So that means that you should have a number. Evaluate means you should have a number for an answer. So it's kind of like just a regular old math problem. The product of 6 and 10. What's product mean? Answer with multiplication. So multiplication of 6 and 10 is what? 60. So you got 6 times 10 is really 60. Okay, I don't care if you write down the 6 times 10 part. It's just 60. Okay. Can I scroll? Okay, evaluate each using a given values. What's evaluate mean? We should have a number for an answer. So, we're given this little expression, and it says to use these things. So what is M? 3. So where the M is at, we're going to put a 3 plus P. What's our P? 1 plus, and we got a 5 over here. So 3 plus 1 plus 5 is 9. Okay, now remember, your final exam is going to be all multiple choice. So you can do your work off to your side, but ultimately you're going to have to like circle A, B, C, or D.
Is this like how long it'll be?
Yeah, there's about 50 questions.
Well, how many were
I think 50. I don't really know. I can't remember. Okay, name the sets to which each number belongs. Okay, I should have given you guys, I will tomorrow, that number chart. So remember we have this little chart and it looked like this, and you can draw it on your paper, that way you don't have extras, but all numbers are real numbers. Okay, and then of those we have 2 types. Does anybody remember what they are? Irrational. Okay, and that's like going to be pi 3.14 square root of 2. Okay, they're numbers that what? They go on forever and ever, and the decimal keeps changing. So pi is like really 3.14, 5, 6, 7, 2, 9, 8. Okay, there's a difference. So repeating decimal is like 0.33333. Okay, it's the same after every one. Okay, so on here we got rational numbers in our little chart. Okay, and those are going to be like 1/3. Okay, they're fractions and decimals. Okay, and then inside that chart we have what?
whole numbers?
There's whole numbers, but we do integers. What are integers?
Negative, positive, and 0.
They're the negative, so negative, positive, and 0. Okay, and then we have whole numbers. And that's just going to be 0, 1, 2, and then we have just natural. Okay, and I will print you guys out the chart tomorrow. Let me write a note because I'll forget. Okay, so if we look at a square root of 10, what is the square root of 10? Okay, well, you're going to have to do it on your calculator to see what's happening with the decimal. So type in the square root symbol and type in 10, and you're probably going to get the same thing. You got to hit the S to D button. Okay, so what's happening after the decimal? Is it repeating or is it changing?
Changing.
It's changing. So what kind of number is that going to be?
Rational.
You say irrational or rational?
Rational.
Okay, so rational is going to be like 0.3333. Okay, that means repeating. These ones are going to be,
Definitely, so it's irrational.
yeah, so they keep going. So it's going to be irrational. Okay, what if my number was -6? What kind of is that? Okay, so it would be a rational and an integer. What if my number was 0?
It'd be a whole.
Whole,
Integer, rational.
integer, rational. Remember, we start from the inside of that chart, and once we say yes, everything above is a yes. So if my number is a 2,
It'd be natural.
it would be natural, whole, integer, and rational. Okay, once we say yes, everything above it also goes on our list. Okay, what if my number is 4? Is it a natural?
Yes.
Yes, so then it's also a whole, integer, rational. Okay, what about $1.99? $1.99, what kind of number is that? Is it a natural? No.
No.
Is it a whole?
No.
Integer?
No.
No. Rational?
Yes.
Okay, so anytime you're talking about money, prices, that's going to be rational. Okay, what about -6.5? Is that a natural?
No.
Whole?
No.
Integer?
Yes.
Okay, you guys always get tripped up, and that's just a hint. Okay, if it has a negative and a decimal, so -6.5, it's not an integer. Although we have a negative, okay, it's rational because integers are just whole negatives. So it's got to be -2, -3, -4. Okay, so -6.5 is just rational. Okay, evaluate each expression. What's evaluate mean? Okay, we should have a number for answer. So -3 minus -6. What are you going to get? And you can type on the calculators that we have are really nice. You can just type it all in. And what'd you get?
3.
3.
That's the answer?
Mm-hmm. Okay, find each quotient. What's quotient mean? It means divide. Okay, and it's the answer to a division problem. So -7.8 divided by 7.8.
It's
-1.
-1.
Okay, the one thing I'm going to tell you, so I gave you a decimal problem. What kind of answer is acceptable?
A fraction. Oh.
A decimal answer or a whole answer. Okay, if I give you a fraction problem, are you allowed to give me a decimal answer?
No.
No. Okay, so if I give you a fraction or a fraction problem, your answer should be in a fraction. Okay, so make sure that you're doing that, okay? Find each product. What's product mean? It means multiply, okay? But these, we got to convert the fraction. You cannot type in that mixed fraction on your calculator, okay? So how do we convert this fraction? Does anybody remember?
8 times 3 plus 1.
8 times 3, so we multiply and add. Jared, you paying attention? Okay, but you do not include that negative. So you can put the negative down. Okay, what is 3 times 8
24.
plus 1?
25.
25. So you're going to have 25 on the top. And what's going to be on the bottom?
8.
8. Okay, and you can put that in parentheses. So these are the same. 25/8 is equal to 3 1/8. Okay? And we talked about this about like money, right? So if Lanaya comes and she says, do you have change for a 10? And I give her $5, is that fair? No, she's like, Miss Henning. Hey, how many you guys ever go to this gas station right by your
Yes,
across
oh
the
my
street?
god, he got scammed the other day. He was so sad.
Dude, I was like asking for change for a 20. I'm like, do you got change for a 20? And I had like paid separate, but I needed like change for a 20. And so I'm like, he gave me my change back, like from what I bought, and then he gave me a dime and 2 nickels.
He had gave him like $20 and he bought a pack of gum and some chips and he got $5 back. And then Edward was like, where's the rest of my money? And he's like, oh my bad, and gave him $2 more.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't want to be rude. Like, everybody always thinks I'm like that, but like, I won't be rude to somebody else. And so I'm like, I almost just left because like, I didn't want to. And I was like, I'm about to let him give me a dime and 2 nickels, like, for a 20. Then he was like, you want to change? 10, 20. And I was like, yeah, no, like, that's not going to work for me. Okay, so you got to do that even exchange. So 3 1/8 is the same as 25/8. And what do you get when you multiply those two fractions on your calculator? Do it.
What?
Multiply it. Put parentheses, negative. And you hit that fraction button. Okay, if you don't remember how to do the fractions on your calculator, I'll help you. Yes.
Negative 125 over.
Close it, and then make the other fraction. What is it?
Negative 125 over 2.
Okay, can I put down a decimal? No, I cannot. So if you got a decimal, you need to hit that SD button. Let me see if I can get this.
It's negative 125.
Okay, so the SD button on the calculator, okay, it's right above your orange delete button. So if you hit a decimal, you need to hit that SD button and turn it back into a fraction. Okay? '17, simplify each expression.